to guide you in your journey.
More excitement, man. Tomorrow's the day. No silky smooth.
I am always silky smooth. Oh, Scott, what
That's
have
true.
you done?
What did I do? Is it upside down?
No, it's just kind of. All right, now we can see your beautiful face.
Okay.
We need maximum beard. Really, it's release week.
It is a crunch beard. Not that we've really been crunching, but
If
no time to shave.
If your beard is crunchy, we need to have a talk because your elder male relatives have failed to failed in their duties in educating you.
Yes.
Neither of our beards are crunchy. They are majestic. And we're here. It's launch week for Sorcerer King.
It is.
Hooray!
Huzzah!
We have not really been crunching. I mean, Scott has done a little bit over the weekends and like over the break when we had the break over the 4th, but not really much.
No.
So good times. We are getting ready. I mean, this is the version number on this is 1.0.
That's correct.
It's pretty much unless QA finds something ghastly, this is what everybody will be playing tomorrow, which is very exciting. So it's Sorcerer King. Hit us up with your questions.
New SK. I think this is like the 5th iteration in the last 2 weeks.
On the Shadowlands?
Yeah, the Shadowlands.
Oh, yeah, the purple got toned down a little bit.
Yeah.
I kind of liked the last one that had the, like, no. It was so purple.
It was so purple.
It was so purple. It was great. No, this is a little more subtle. No, it's cool. So I mean, we're just kind of playing the game, kind of talking about what's going on. Scott, what have you been working on? I know it's just been a lot of fog bugs.
A lot of fog. I mean, this week has been nothing but critical bugs. There was a bug where the Tower of Mastery was in the campaign in a form where basically if you played as the Tyrant and you cast Coercion on your main city, you could beat the campaign in like 75 turns.
Sure.
Just by doing the Tower of Mastery. So I had to fix that so that Tower of Mastery is no longer a game-winning thing in the campaign.
Right.
That it now gives you like the equivalent of 2 shards worth of magic.
Which is still very good.
Which is a cool, it takes a little while to build. It's a wonder. So there's that. Oh, did you see that Agathon was running away and the Sorcerer King was running away out of the final battle? They were retreating. Like all SK units were, but those in particular. And so people were reporting it. And I was thinking, what the hell is going on here? And it turned out that so one of the this is okay, so kids, this is why we lock things down. There was a very innocuous looking check-in that Brad added.
Right.
That was a good call. And that was that units get 1 XP and AI units get 1 XP per turn.
Oh yeah. So that enemy armies would scale because unit levels also are fairly strong in Sorcerer King. Like you get bonus attack, bonus defense, bonus hit points.
Yeah, so that's
accuracy.
a nice scaler based on time that we got for free that we weren't making use of. This is something in LH that we commented out for some reason. He's like, let's put it back in. And we all looked at it and we all signed off and go, of course we should do this. And all of a sudden the SK is running away from battles. So we look into it and it turns out that when a champion levels up, so Agathon or Vetrar, when they leveled up, they would randomly pick an ability out of a pool. And that pool consisted of some some abilities that we had commented out. We took out the ability in question is the commander used to have a ability that gave all trained units the ability to escape battle.
Right.
Okay. So Agathon was picking that ability. All the SK units could now escape battle, and they would all the time.
Oh, funny.
So that one little thing, that one little XP per turn turned into the Sorcerer King running away from the final battle and losing. You would win. You would win the game because he goes, screw this. This guy's tough. Tandis is hitting too hard. I'm out of here. See you in the sequel.
I like your SK voice, Scott. That's good.
That's how I am, man. Like whenever he comes and talks to me, hey, got some stuff for you.
You want some larger tissue?
I mean, I got stuff and you want man and you want whatever.
This is good. This is good. I think we should. No, we don't have to continue
No.
exploring.
We need to go somewhere else.
Oh man. So Island Dog is he's a moderator in our chat, and he is the long-standing evangelist for Stardock. And he is going to be doing some giveaways in chat in a little bit. A couple of minutes ago, he said the first one was going to be in 10 minutes or so. So whenever that comes up, he'll be doing some giveaways. So good times. So definitely stick around for that and poke your head in the chat. It's a friendly bunch. Actually, our chat is amazing. Our chat is always very friendly, very happy. Yeah. Like, we appreciate that. We have Philkus, welcome. Says that there's too much English, more French in our games, please.
Oh.
Which, fair enough.
It is a very text-heavy.
It is a text-y game.
A lot of the great parts of the game are text.
It would be a shame to miss out on all of Buckles' quests.
I laughed like today. I was playing through the campaign, and I was I was laughing. And what was it? I won't try. I won't ruin it, but.
Yeah. So that's good. We don't have any plans currently to localize the game that I'm aware of. Typically, we've done like French, German, Russian, I think, in the past.
Yeah.
But like Galciv 3 is even still in process for localization. That's not done yet. So, but not for SK at the moment, unfortunately. Let's see. Eisenengel 71, the Iron Angel. Clever Nick, I like it. Says, I don't know about Sorcerer King, but I tend to like Stardock stuff. This looks like a bit like Fallen Enchantress. Well, it is a branching off of the Fallen Enchantress franchise. It's not really a direct sequel. That stupid bug has been around forever in Dragon Quest. Anyway,
I only see it on this machine.
Really?
Very strange, yeah.
Huh. I guess I don't know if I've been seeing it at home. Anyway, it is. So it's I mean, it's a fantasy strategy game, certainly, but it's not really like Fallen Enchantress and Legendary Heroes were pretty, they were pretty straight up 4X games, right?
Yeah.
Whereas Sorcerer King is definitely something different. Sir Dingus is just getting his face kicked in over there.
Yeah, I didn't think about this battle. Okay, let's talk more, because this comes up a lot. I'm gonna Okay. So let's talk about what just happened.
Did you just die?
I did. First battle. I've learned
it's
nothing.
been so long since I've given you any crap about how you play Sorcerer King.
No, let's talk about. We got to get into this because the question comes up all the time.
Yeah.
I've seen on forums where people are like, "Well, it looks like FE with a coat of paint," and
Sure.
somebody said, "Looks like they put a map in." Like hard-coded it to a map in a scenario, and it's not what it is at all. This is not a hard-coded map and scenario. Dear Lord, we've spent 2 years basically kind of rebalancing the X's, is what I like to say. We pulled back a little bit on the diplomacy and dealing with other nations, and we put it all into dealing with the world as an enemy.
Right.
Because a lot of the reviews that we got for FE and LH would always say, I'm having a blast going out there, exploring the world, getting stuff, like treating this as an RPG, and then dealing with the players kind of, took away that momentum. So we say, if that's what people like, let's go all in.
Yeah, let's make a whole game
do
out
it.
of that. Yeah.
And that's what SK really is us kind of drawing back the other players and putting you in the hot seat. And making it you versus the world, and kind of playing with, playing with the 4X mechanics in a different way.
Right. The way I like to think about it is that you have, like, you're using familiar. If you are used to thinking of gameplay as like nouns and verbs, right? Nouns being like the actual units and cities and stuff that you have, and then verbs being the things that you do with them.
Yeah.
Right. A verb for a city is like building a unit or building a improvement. Right. For a unit, it's exploring or attacking or whatever.
The mechanics.
Right. So if you think about it that way, SK is really, you have kind of the same nouns and verbs. You have the same gameplay vocabulary as as like a 4X, like FE or Legendary Heroes or anything, but you're solving different problems with it, right?
Yeah.
You're saying different things with the same vocabulary,
Yeah.
if that makes sense, because your problems are really very different. Your problems are go get control of the shards before the SK blows them up, right? It's go level up your hero and without, get out and get adventuring. So this is you're getting pulled out into the world. But at the same time, like, the SK is going to be attacking you. You need to be able to defend your empire, at least to some extent. Right. So anyway, it's that's kind of how I think about it.
Yeah. No. What's great is that we've actually we have 2 really good reviews up already.
Yes. Thank you for bringing that up.
And I wanted to say before we talk more about those reviews, they mention actually the second one, the Softpedia one, kind of lays it out how I like to think of it, and they say. I do not remember the quote. I wish I had the quote. But how we like to set it up is you have this arsenal of options. You have spells, you have cities, you have all this stuff to deal with this, all these problems. And every game, every random game, those problems are kind of randomized. Like sometimes I'm on an island. I had to figure out, okay, how am I going to expand off of this island and deal with that? Sometimes you're landlocked. Sometimes you're right next to the Sorcerer King. Can I get by under low threat? Can I hide under the radar when he's right in my back door? And and just if you have the different minor races change things up, and I don't know, just I like the idea that we give players all these tools to solve all these different random these puzzles.
Totally.
Not really puzzles, but basically there's a lot of problem solving going on there that you use fireballs to solve.
I actually, so I've been recording kind of all day today and yesterday and actually the previous day, recording some Let's Play videos that we can put up, and to try to introduce people to Sorcerer King. And it was funny. I actually, for demo purposes, I had gone in and I just like started picking the flip off the Sorcerer King basically choices like from the very beginning, right? So like my threat goes through the roof right away. It's like on like turn 10, I'm at 5 threat or something, right? Which is like, it sounds terrible, but it's like if you play it well, it's actually not that bad, because like he sends armies after you, but if you can handle them, that's a ton of XP and loot coming your way if you can handle those armies.
And at that point, he's not ignoring the shards,
but he's not sending as many
routing.
Units after
Yeah.
And he's not coming at you with like, hey, give me whatever, and I'll give you an administrator. And it's like, so your doomsday isn't going up that way, right? And you get better character traits. Like you don't get like cowardice or anything like that. You get like courage for like standing up to the Sorcerer King. And so it's actually
I've never thought about doing that. That's awesome.
I don't know that it's easier necessarily.
No. But that's it.
That's decision.
But the fact that the game is malleable enough where
you can
play that way.
It's interesting. It's very different anyway.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty cool. It was. I'd love to see some more ways to make that more viable.
Yeah.
Because I don't know necessarily how viable it is. I didn't play that game all the way through.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say like, hey, everybody go tell the Sorcerer King to go to hell and it'll go great.
Oh my God! Especially now, like now that the lieutenants and stuff are really going after your cities, and
Absolutely.
Threat level 5 is now. You don't want to get to threat level 5.
Yes, because the lieutenants will blow up your cities. I don't know if you said that. I'm sorry. Somebody asked for the link to the other review of Sorcerer King, which I'm happy to drop into the chat. Which Island Dog already did. I'm behind the times.
Is Explorminate in the chat?
That's what we were just doing. It was one of the Explorminate guys was in chat. It was
okay.
Hey,
cool.
You said there was another review.
Yeah. Yes. So thank you. I mean, first review out of the gate. The Explorminate guys did a great job breaking down the positives, and then
it is a lengthy review.
They got into it, but what's amazing is that it's so succinct, and it has like a retrospective of the Elemental series.
I don't know if succinct is the word I would use for that review, and I don't mean that in any kind of a bad way, but just in that like it took me like 20 minutes to read the thing.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's.
It hits the points.
Might be a better it's word. Exhaustive, but I mean, it's an exhausting game to try to describe properly, and the fact that they were able to get in there and actually hit the points properly and give that back and forth, like, it was nice to it was nice to come, to wake up to.
Sure.
Oh, we weren't waking up to it. But it was nice to get this
yes.
morning.
Yes, it was
as
especially
our first
as like
review.
the first review that goes up. It's because we get into it and it's always that moment of truth where review our game.
Yeah, because I know.
Cross your fingers.
Because Devil Dog was getting a lot of the bugs that he was getting a lot of that Fog of War issue.
That one, but I appreciate that he said that he like brings it up. And he's like, "Hey, this was a problem, but in the last build that I played, Stardock fixed it." So I appreciate that. I just appreciate a reviewer taking the time to be that I guess conscientious.
Yeah.
Because sometimes that's.
I swear we're trying. Yeah. Like I know that there are bugs that people mentioned months ago that may still be in there.
Yep.
They're on our list. They have a priority. It's just. Those priority lists are our roadmap. We hold to them. We cannot deal with a level 5 bug when Sorcerer King is running away from the final battle.
Right. So we have Island Dog putting a giveaway in the chat. If you want to be entered into the giveaway, you got to type what his keyword is. It is ready for SK. There's some capitals in there. Make sure you get the capitals correct. And that will be... you'll be entered to win a Steam key for Sorcerer King. So if you haven't hooked it up yet, now's a good time to hook it up. All right. So Scott's playing the Priestess here, and I was he and I were chatting off the air. So I've been recording these Let's Play videos, and each one with a different sovereign, and just kind of talking about the differences in mechanics and some of the strategies that it enables, right? And I gotta tell you, the Priest, I think, has the most unique mechanics and is also by far my most favorite. My English teachers spinning in their graves, but hopefully they're not dead because they were like, in their 30s. But anyway, no, I love the Priestess. She's so much fun. I love the extra interactivity you get in the battles with her 2 free spells that she has. Mm-hmm. I worry a little bit that she's probably the strongest of the sovereigns, but I feel like everybody says that about a different sovereign.
Yeah.
Which I actually which means that something is that
we're on the right track. I would say
that's right. And I mean, she might just fit my playstyle better because I tend to be a very like micro heavy. Like Brad probably could care less about Into the Light because he auto resolves like 2/3 of his battles.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
so and if you auto resolve, like
if you're in there, looking at those health bars, and you're like,
oh man, I'm like, and I love it because it's like you can take Kepler has Shadow Bolt, right? And Shadow Bolt has no damage scaling. So it always does 6. So you can rely on it to chunk down their health down into a critical range, so you can finish them off with Into the Light and get your bonus mana.
Cool.
Right? I feel like it works really well.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. Restore. I love the sort of early on in Sorcerer King development. I pitched an idea that Brad absolutely hated, but I thought was really cool. Which was to give a bonus to the player, some kind of bonus if you perfect a battle, if you beat a battle. And
I remember that. It's like
you take no damage, but you win the combat, right?
Final Fantasy 13 had like the grades, like A.
Yes.
It felt good to get an A.
Yeah.
Or
S or whatever. It's been so long since I played 13. I haven't played either of the follow-ups. Actually, I should do that at some point. I don't know.
Yeah.
The story was so kind of mediocre.
Like, God bless him. I couldn't get through the base game.
No.
And
I liked it fine. Like, the linearity didn't bother me that much because if you think about it on a mechanical level, all Final Fantasies are hilariously linear. So the fact that this didn't have like weird little dead ends didn't really bother me. But anyway, we might be a little off topic, for which I apologize. What the hell was I talking about before?
I'm sorry. The battle rank. So basically, perfect.
Yes.
Perfect battles.
So if you're perfect at battle, you get some bonus XP or something, or like another loot drop or something like that, right? Which Brad didn't like it because he didn't like putting that much emphasis on the battles, and on kind of the micromanagement of the battles because that's not really what he likes out of it, which is fine. I mean, it's his game, so he gets to say what we do, right? But the Priestess kind of plays a little bit like that because if you have a battle and you're doing well enough that you have extra turns and extra sovereign casts, you can blow those on Into the Light and restore and get your health back and get some bonus mana, and that feels really good to me. And it's kind of in practice it's kind of conceptually the same thing. There's just not like a system driven.
That's why I did it that way for you, Adam. I said, "You know what? This is a good idea. How can I get it in?" No, that's totally luck of the draw, and I'm very glad that because I like that. I like that too. I like the idea of rewarding any way that you can reward players for kind of thinking through those battles.
Yeah, for
but
sure.
above and beyond like not dying. Like that's a base level
Right.
thing.
So we had a winner in our giveaway. It was Forgettable Username. Who is
That's rude.
clearly
Why'd
very
you say
clever.
that? Oh, I see.
No, that's actually his username. Get
I
it?
gotcha.
No, congrats. I hope you enjoy the game. You can punch that into. We're not out until tomorrow, but you can punch it in today and play the one. Actually, is 1.0 up on the? I don't know if 1.0 is actually up. It might still be. Like,
there's something up.
There's something.
You know,
and it's
actually,
pretty close.
no, it's pretty. It's. I think that it's basically 1.0. Campaign is
still
off.
Yep. Campaign is off because that's a release day surprise for everybody. Anyway, but you can play whatever's up there today. I'm kind of embarrassed that I don't actually know. I've been playing internal builds because we've been iterating really quickly. Just as we kill the last round of bugs and make sure the late editions.
Lots
are all
of hot
working.
potatoes coming
Yes.
through.
So anyway, but you can play today, or you can wait till tomorrow. Either way, it's up to you. But hopefully you enjoy it. Island Dog says we got another giveaway coming in about 15. So stay tuned, I guess, as it were. All right, let's see. We got some comments. Almost done says we are in fact almost done.
Yes.
While the graphics are a lot better than the other versions, thank you. This art style it's an all new art style. It's very, very different. It's a little more, I don't want to say more stylized because like FE was stylized,
It
right?
tried to be stylized,
But it's definitely, it's more colorful. It's more saturated.
I would say it's cleaner.
It's clean. Yes, it's definitely cleaner. So anyway, I think everybody on the team agrees.
It's cleaner, and I would say it has more character.
Yes, I would say so too. It's hard to go back. Like I played some obnoxious number of hours of FE and Legendary Heroes, and it's a little hard for me to go back now, just from the art style perspective.
Yeah.
I mean, they're kind of different games, so it's not like, oh, I'm going to play the new one instead of the old one.
But still, there really is something to be said for good presentation. Like I was watching God help me, I was watching a Let's Play of War of Magic, and and the shopkeeper comes up, and she's kind of pixely and kind of looking really rough. And I keep thinking about the binks that we have for
for the miners
of the miners that we have, and they're just they pull you in. There's lots going on. There's lots of particles. There's lots of movement. There's lots of
nice full screen, colorful, inviting.
There's there's ambient sound effects. It's just
unique music tracks for each of the rivals.
Oh yeah, that got added last month.
Yep. So no, for sure, and our cinematics team adds so much to our games. Like people think of a cinematics team as like, oh, they make the intro video or whatever. No. Our cinematics team, they make the rivals for Sorcerer King and the Sorcerer King himself. They did the awesome new intro that just went up on some site or another. Forgive me, I don't remember. Island Dog can probably link it, or somebody can link it. They did that. They did all the leaders in Galactic Civilizations 3.
Yeah.
And the event videos, right, for like your first starbase.
I was gonna say, I mean, they've
done so much.
They did the Doomsday effect, like when the Doomsday counter goes up and those shards, those chunks
that was
fly
such a ninja
and
joint, I believe.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
And it adds it punctuates gameplay. It does all these things that we could have just had the bar go up, but presentation. We really cared about presentation here.
No, so I think Sorcerer King is Stardock's best looking game currently until Ashes comes out. But anyway, thank you for the compliment. I guess ultimately, Alstein says that he thinks that the Guardian is the strongest of the sovereigns. I could see that. I like the Guardian if the defining thing for the Guardian is a first tier sovereign skill, and it's the one that gives your outpost +2 zone of control. So your outposts become just these massive territory gobbling monsters.
I would also say now that we've boosted the summons, I could see
summons.
where
Summons used to be so.
I actually had a really nice in one of my battles. I had I was trying to figure out how to. I really wanted to cast Contagion, but then a whole bunch of guys were going to go. I'm like, oh, if I had Shadow Warg, so I casted Shadow Warg, so that he was able to go in to set up. I basically cast him to block people.
Oh, sure.
I blocked some guys.
He's got the AOE stun thing, right?
Yeah. So I threw him in there. I was still able to get off a spell, and I ended up. What did I do? Oh, I got the wool. Oh, okay. So I'm sorry. So I did Unholy Howl, which boosted the initiative of a bunch of my guys. So then my wolf got to go, and then I used the wolf to cast the contagion spell that I was thinking about using for. So it was like a neat like trickle down.
Sure.
Oh, I get to go. I get to go. I get to go. Thing, and those are the moments that I get really excited about tactical battles, where you figure out, again, you have this arsenal, you have all these tricks up your sleeve. How can you use them to get out of these precarious situations? Like, I think there were 20 wolves that were about to eat me. And I'm like, I don't want them to eat me.
Those big wolf packs can be nasty, man. Because if you can't thin them out really quickly, they get the double swarm bonus. And so if there's a bunch of them engaged with your guys, they just start tearing through dudes.
They ripped through my pikemen, and I'm like, I got pikemen, I'm fine.
Right.
No, my pikemen didn't get to go.
Yep. So
I
felt really clever the first time my whole damn army got webbed in a big spider encounter, and then I cast Converge on the big spider, which is the unique spell that the commander gets, where all of your units get teleported onto whatever the target is, and the target loses all their defense for a turn. And so it's like, yeah, well, I'm webbed in your face. So I felt pretty good. Pretty smart about that, even though it's like the most obvious like interaction ever, but it's still like, as a designer, that's cool because it makes the player feel smart.
Yeah.
Because you're not there's not a tooltip that says use this when you're webbed against spiders,
exactly.
right? It's like so when the player figures it out, they feel cool, they feel smart. So I appreciate that. No, I go for Summon Bear like immediately as soon as it pops up every time. I love Summon Bear early on. Later on, Summon Bear is not really good enough. I was gonna say, why are you not killing those Darklings? It's kind of it doesn't I guess it loses its effectiveness later on in the game, which is fine because it's an early game spell. But early on, he's just like, he's got no defense, but it doesn't matter because things don't do that many hit points, that much damage, and he just does a ton of damage. He just houses dudes very quickly. I love this summon. But the thing is, like, the summons don't scale, right? Like, they don't gain levels, they don't get equipment, and so they're awesome early. Like early in the game.
They actually do. I think they're brought in at. There's a summoning.
There is
bonus level bonus that.
Okay, I take it back.
Well, I mean, I think that only the Guardian has a way to up that. So that's kind of her thing, is that she can bring in higher level guys. Yeah. Do I have? Okay, can I use it?
Into the light?
Into the light.
Presumably.
3 and a 9. Let's do it.
Yeah, Into the Light does 3 base plus 1 per shard. So
that's right. Okay.
Yeah, you're doing 5. There you go. Also, oh man, I had a game where I got Nefaz as my recruited hero, or I got him from a statue or something. So I had Nefaz and Kepler rolling around, so it was like all mages all the time. And I got like 2 items that boosted spell damage. And I put them both on Nefaz, and he had Crimson Ring, so he got extra health whenever he killed anything.
Oh, nice.
And so it was like Dark Spread all the time.
Oh,
and then like he does Dark Spread, kills almost everything, and then anything that's left gets hit with Into the Light. And like, oh my god, it was amazing. It was so amazing. I won that game. So, all right, let's see. We had a question. There it is. Another question from Eisen Engel. He says, pretty big question. Where is the game now compared to where you want it to be, and is there more planned for it? So it's a little bit of a loaded question because it's like, are you putting out a terrible game that you think sucks? Oh my god,
like, there's an old saying in the game industry that a game is never done. You just put it out the door. Yeah, I mean, there's always stuff that we want to do. Right. But I'm so excited that we got 2 good reviews right out the bat, because it kind of shows that we judged it all properly. Like when we put it out the door and we're waiting for that first review, all I see are the negative Steam reviews. All I see are the negative forum posts. I'm like, oh God, what have we done? Pull it back. Give us another year. And the fact is, a lot of the minutia stuff that you'll see complaints about, bugs need to get taken care of, but it's such a big game that there's going to be all kinds of cracks and crevices for bugs to hide in.
Yeah, I mean, Sorcerer King is very much, it's a, I'm trying to think of the right term, but it's a game with a lot of interlocking parts, different systems that work with one another to create different outcomes, right? It's a system-driven game, not like a predefined game.
Yes.
And so in a system-driven game like Sorcerer King, and like a lot of strategy games, you don't there's always going to be unforeseen interactions, and you make your code as robust as you can, and you make your data structures as robust as you can, and all that kind of stuff. But there's always going to be things like you can write the cleanest code in mortal man's ken, and there's always going to be things. This is a rough map, dude. There's like Shadowlands everywhere.
I should have gone north. I don't know why I'm down here. I'm
well,
running,
probably because you're talking.
I think I'm running away from this guy.
Yeah, you should go fight those guys.
No.
What?
21 to 15.
Meh.
They're the ones that killed out my initial party.
Fine.
Oh,
you don't have Arcane Missile yet, do you?
That'll be the climax of the.
Okay.
Is me fighting Looter. The climax of the final stream. We're gonna do it.
It's hard to play and talk at the same time. It totally is. All right, next giveaway is in 5 minutes, or slightly fewer than 5 minutes, since I'm always a little behind on chat. So keep an eye on chat for the giveaway. Yeah. So let's see.
Is there anything? No, but actually, going back to that, seriously, what didn't get in that you wished would have got in, Adam?
Oh boy. I mean, I have a list of suggestions a mile long.
Yeah.
That
we all and there are tons of documents internally where it's like, we can make this system better by doing this. We can clean this up by, big change, actually. You no longer get spellbook enchantment in items. Did you know that?
What? We pulled out the spellbook enchants?
Yeah.
Just killed them all?
Yeah.
When did we do we do this like yesterday?
We did this yesterday. And the reason is, no, but listen, and it works so well. Those spellbook enchantments basically drove you mad with that feeling of, psychologically, the player goes, I have enough mana, I could buff my guys.
Oh yeah, I totally just dump all.
Exactly. So it's like, oh, do I really have to go? There's this psychological pull on the player, and by removing those and cleaning up the system and going, no, it is just about the loot. It is just about what you find.
And we did recently just buff the hell out of a lot of the loot enchantments.
Exactly. So
or at least balance the hell out of them.
Yeah. So I'm sure that they'll come back in some shape or form. And actually, they're still in the game because there's a couple of abilities that the Tinker has that actually ties into them.
Okay.
They're, the Tinkers can still access some of that cool stuff.
Can we grant those as like an item?
Yeah. I mean, we could turn them into like
one-off
things.
Awesome. That would be awesome. It's like rare drops of like, hey, here's this like enchantment recipe that like doesn't, it's reusable.
Yeah. So there's lots, there's lots of stuff that we can do with it, but in its current implementation, it just, it was kind of driving the players, not driving them mad, but it was this annoyance. Like, I really should go to max my guys. I really should go in and do this, and you don't want the best path to be unfun. The best path should always be the funnest path. So
absolutely.
So that was one of those. I forgot to tell you about that. That was one of those big like, oh my god, we should totally cut that. So
good to know.
Anyways,
so enchantments are out. No, but the cool thing about
does that make sense though? I mean,
no, I totally get it. I get it.
Okay.
The cool thing about Sorcerer King though, and to speak to the idea of like, is it done? Is it where we want it to be? I mean, no, everybody always wants to keep working on the game that they're working on for another year at least. And I don't think that's any different at Stardock than it is at Blizzard.
Nope.
Well, maybe not Blizzard. They get to keep working on it until it's done.
That's true.
But they are an outlier, to put it kindly. All right, but because so much of Sorcerer King is data driven, we can make new items and new like spellbook enchants. Like all we have to do to turn those old spellbook enchants into like new cool like rare recipes. It's not that like it's not a great technical challenge, and it's probably not going to break much. I mean, I always have to go in and make sure they're dropping right and make sure that they're not screwing up the loot tables for this and that. And like there's work involved. I don't want to say that they're like free, but they're not. It's not like developing a whole new freaking system that then has to be tested and implemented and all this kind of stuff. So it lets us expand the game in that way. And so so I know Brad already has a list of like DLC and stuff that he wants to do. And people are going to complain and say like, oh, this should have been in the base game because that's what people do. No, go directly east so you can get the clay pit and the shard, for goodness sake.
Wait, that's what I can. 1, 2, 1, 2, and then 1, 2.
Fine. Well, don't move him where you're going to move him. Because then you're going to lose.
I'm pressing the outpost button.
Oh, my God. Fine. Hit the outpost.
What are you?
Hit the outpost.
Wait, what was
Thank you.
What was the problem?
I actually misremembered and thought you couldn't build on Shadowlands, which is why I was yelling at you.
okay.
So you can yell at me for being bad at the game.
Okay, so I'll teach you about this system that we've had in for the last 15 years off stream. But yeah, outpost to
one of the other things that we've worked really hard on lately is updating the help section of the game. This is like one thing that I always forget about, and then it gets brought up by a new player or somebody, and it's like, oh yeah, the help is actually really good. Scott, open the help, would you? The help button.
I'm playing. I'm having fun.
No, so like cleaning this up and making sure that this is all accurate and reflects the rules as they stand and the content as it stands. So like you can find everything in here basically. You're like, oh, how do logistics work, right? You can go to like I don't.
Oh, do they?
They're theoretically, yeah, they're up there towards the top. Not that it's actually like organized or
logistics. How do they work?
There we go.
Right.
So there you go. And then like in cleaning up the tooltip. So if you go to the logistics tooltip, you can see go to the logistics tooltip. Thank you. So this now like breaks it out to like you get +4 for faction base, +3 for Athica because presumably it has a barracks, -2 for outpost costs, right? Blah 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 blah. Like it breaks it down, and really trying to make sure that it's clear where you're getting your stats from, so you can plan accordingly. That's one of the things. Oh, keep an eye on chat. Here's a keyword for some giveaway going to be dropping in there. So if you want to win a copy of Sorcerer King, head over into the chat. All right. We actually had some really good questions in the chat that I haven't gotten to because I've been running my mouth, because that's what I do. Oh yeah, Priest also has Divine Wisdom as a special thing. I love Divine Wisdom. You get free stuff. It's like every 10 turns, like, hey, you want some free stuff? Like, yeah, I want free stuff. I love it.
And she has. I do love the new Heavenly Ward spell.
Oh yeah, you just made that not too long ago.
Yeah.
Which is basically turns one of your non-champion units immortal like a champion. So when they die, they just get sent back to your capital. But it costs a divine favor.
And it costs a mana upkeep.
And a mana upkeep, that's right. So you just death warded Sir Dingus.
Soldier.
Oh no, Soldier. God, not even Sir Dingus.
Oh jeez. Why'd I do it?
That's okay. If you don't win this, I'll forgive you.
Yeah.
But we did have some really good questions in the chat. So now that the chat's blowing up from the giveaway, so hopefully that it kind of answers what we think about Sorcerer King and where we're going with it. Absolutely, we want to keep making content and making DLCs and expansions and all that kind of stuff. Like I mean, that's always the dream, is to do well enough to make it worthwhile to keep developing content. So that's the hope. All right, let's see. Here we go. All right. Rogue Love, who is one of our friends from Explormate, says that with SK's focus on a personal journey, it seems like it would have made sense to include the player's sovereign on the game map as a character. What went into the decision of having the sovereign stay off the map and giving them a champion character instead? So there's kind of fiction issues, for one thing, where so you play as a channeler, whereas like channelers are very, very few and far between. Like there's literally in Sorcerer King there are 2. There's you and the Sorcerer King. Yeah, they're the only 2 channelers in the world. The channelers are people who can channel the power of the shards and do their magical thing. And so there's kind of power level issues of like, well, why wouldn't Superman just punch this guy through the moon or whatever, right? Like the classic Superman problem.
Yeah. Why is he going around stepping on spiders?
Right. So there's a little bit of that. There's a little bit of there's some gameplay things that are a lot easier, or game mechanic things that are a lot easier to do when you don't have your sovereign on screen. Like you can let your champions die and they just get popped back to your capital, right? With they get immobilized and doomsday counter penalty, and that would make less sense if it was your sovereign, right? Because it's like, well, if I'm in bed, then why is my recovering? Then why is my empire still functional? You are.
That wasn't me. That was the auto.
So for example, you can have your champions die. So I mean, that's the short answer. Brad would probably have a more specific answer, and Brad's actually, I believe, going to be on the stream tomorrow.
Yeah.
For the launch stream. So you come back and ask tomorrow, I believe at 5 Eastern. We're going to go live.
That was
with Brad.
A very, very early decision, though.
Yeah,
that was like a right off the bat, get rid of the sovereign, because that was in War of Magic. and the other Elemental games, that was like one of the big things. That was, oh, let's put the Sovereign, it's an RPG world. Let's put them right on the map, and you can move them around. And there were so many design gotchas where it's like, oh, well, I didn't think about that. I didn't, it just had a trickle down thing.
And there's all kinds of weird stuff about like
you never see
things that can only be equipped on the Sovereign, things that can't be equipped on the Sovereign.
Yeah.
Like there's weird
spells
like,
that only the Sovereigns can use.
Yeah,
and
there's a surprising number of weird edge cases, like which you totally don't think about when you're playing. It's like, oh, it'd be sweet if the Sovereign was a unit, until you start like actually specking out the design. And you're like, oh god, And we trudged through it. And when Derek came on, he had a lot of good suggestions, like the when you go back to a city, you have the and going back to Fallen Enchantress, you have the injuries. Yes.
So like you have a broken kneecap and
-1 initiative. Or
so you can go out there and you can lose, but slowly you become weaker over time. But we just said, you know what, nuts to that. The tried and true 4X methodology is fine.
Right.
So let's put him in his tower, and he'll be good.
And we even have a fiction reason for it and everything. We actually did originally have injuries on champions. In Sorcerer King, and we ended up taking them out because it was just really hard to.
That was before they had a doomsday penalty.
Oh,
and so we basically said, let's clean this up.
But it sucked, though, because Sorcerer King is so focused on like building your stack of doom and building up your heroes into like awesome god-killing machines that having a bunch of injuries on them is like just awful. It's just awful. It feels terrible because like the game is so much more focused around like in LH, if a couple of your heroes get a couple injuries and they suck, and even the nasty ones is like, well, okay, and like my champions got some issues, but it's not like we'll get through it, right? I can build different units or whatever because it's not as focused. But in Sorcerer King, it's so much more focused that it just felt terrible. So anyway,
and it was, again, it was one of those opportunities for us to bring the player back to the attention of the Doomsday counter and say, okay, you're bringing them back, but it's costing you something.
Sure.
And it's costing you something big, especially in those late game battles. So
sure. Let's see. Reliving some Galciv 3 Steam launch issues. Don't want to do that. Sorry. People still write a help section? We do.
Oh, we still have a manual.
We do. It's a PDF. It's not a paper one.
Oh, yeah,
we have
sure,
it.
sure.
We have it. It exists. I think I believe it's linked from the Steam store page, and probably from somewhere on sorcererking.com as well. So let's see. Why not call it the Sorceropedia or something?
It used to be called the
Hirgamanon, which is a total
help
word
menu
that Brad made up.
Help,
years ago.
That was a lore thing, and I like help menu.
The help works. It's descriptive. It gets it done. Let's see. Oh yes, Island Dog is pointing out that we have a Sorcerer King wiki, an official wiki at Gamepedia.com. It's super helpful. Really appreciate anybody who spends the time to come help us out on that and add things to the wiki. It's really great. We have the one for Galciv, which actually turned out to be pretty cool. I think, anyway. And players have done a great job on that, and we'd love to have the same thing for Sorcerer King because it's just a great resource for everybody. So check that out. Island Dog posted the link in the chat. All right, let's see who won the giveaway. It was the CW. Hey, he's one of our
awesome.
long-standing guys. He's in like every stream, and we appreciate his support very much, or her support. I have no idea. And it won a Sorcerer King key. So congratulations to the CW. Let's see. Where are we at? Another giveaway around 4 p.m. All right. So about 15 minutes from now. All right. Can you tell us, Troy Kostastik has asked for the third time. Can you tell us how many individual spells are in the game? Sovereign spells, I want to say it's around 150.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
I think is about the number, and then there's a jillion friggin' hero and unit abilities.
Yeah. Those are implemented as like quasi spells.
Right.
But though, oh my gosh, abilities.
I mean, there's a ton. There's a ton of passives.
It's definitely that's actually something. I wish that we could have gone through and done a pass and actually not cleaned it up, but add some made sure those were as streamlined as possible. Because right now there are some abilities where it's like, oh, you use it once or twice. It's like probably won't use that again.
Sure.
But in general, there's lots of buttons to push, and it makes tactical. What I love is tactical combat. There's like lots of options at all times. So.
Yeah, no, tons of buttons to push. That was, we get a lot of questions and people asking, oh, why don't you have flanking? And why don't you have range penalties and all that kind of stuff, right? Because our tactical battle rule set is indeed very simple.
Yeah.
2 reasons for that. First thing is you fight a ton of battles in Sorcerer King, and they need to stay relatively streamlined, or it would take 16 years to play through a game, and that's just not what Sorcerer King is. The second thing is we tried to add depth to Sorcerer King battles compared to previous Stardock games by giving players more buttons to push, basically, that feel cool and that have strategic implications. Things like, every like vanilla support unit in the game comes with like 3 different abilities that they can use, right? Like a cleric fresh out the city has like a heal spell and a shield spell and a blessing spell, which is like way more than we gave anybody in like LH or anything like that. And I think that it has added quite a bit to tactical combat. I'm curious. I haven't done a playthrough without the spellbook enchants. I'm really curious about what that does to the balance for me. But at least like a lot of the other, like there were a lot of loot enchants that were just not anything you would ever use, like +4 fire resist. Like, and shoot me in the face if I actually use that ever for anything. So I mean, it should be fun. It should be fun. We gotta.
You're so nervous about this.
Well, I'll tell you what. The reason I don't like is because, or the thing that I don't like is I don't like losing the differentiation from having the different spell books.
Sure. Okay, that's true.
So I want to come up with something that we can give to say, okay, well, you have 6 chaos spell books, so that lets you do this awesome
thing,
right?
Yeah, where you lose that immediacy of, whereas right now spell books they provide a pool of random stuff that can randomly happen. So it's nice to have like a succinct. This is what this does.
It's not the end of the world because, I mean, it was kind of a minor point of differentiation, and our sovereigns are very different from each other already.
That's the thing. The trade-off is, in my mind, in the games that I played, I always got to that point where mentally I'm going to go fight the lieutenant. I really should go and just, stack a bunch of enchantments on my guy, fill those slots, and I don't want to do that.
Sure.
And so taking away that overhead, I don't know, because there's more than enough stuff to do. Like you said, tons of loot in the game.
Yep.
If you've been going around and fighting, you'll have lots of options to play with anyways.
You do.
So.
Or if you spam Harvest Forest like a boss, as I've been known to do, you have a ton of cedarwood oil that you can put everywhere. And cedarwood oil is the best because it gives initiative, and initiative is the frickin' best. So that's just my little free tip to everybody, which longtime Sorcerer King players are well aware of. Initiative is the freaking best. If you do one thing to make your heroes and your units better, focus on giving them more initiative, because it is so good. Did you just auto-resolve that?
Yeah, I think I auto-resolved.
Oh, okay. That was weird. Anyway, let's see. Explorminate says, showed up in the chat, and welcome, Explorminate. It says he only spent about 20 hours or so writing the review for Explorminate.com. So that was a long time. Yeah. I never spent that long writing a review in my career.
Yeah, I was talking to him offline, and he was, or online, but off the stream.
Yes.
And he was saying that, there was another, 4,000 or 5,000 words he wanted to put in. And
we appreciate, from our perspective, we love the long reviews. We think they're great.
And it's great. There's like I said, there's so much to the game. The long review, the well-balanced long review gives somebody who is on the fence something to sink their teeth into and go, oh, I see what this game is all about.
Right. So, no, it's interesting. There's always a bit of a debate, when I was in my previous life as a reviewer and an editor. There's a bit of a debate about, how long should a review be? How much do people actually read? All that kind of stuff. And, from my perspective now, I like the fact that there's a variety of ways that it's done out there, right? So you have like the really long review from Explorminate, from some other. Hey, you actually did Into Light. Well done.
I've been using that, man. Come on.
Just busting balls here. Just
Yeah.
busting balls. I appreciate that there's a variety out there, so you can get, you know, whatever you're looking for, you can find it somewhere as a consumer. So that's cool. Let's see. Almost Done says, this kind of made me think of the end of the game. What happens to the people once you win? Well, I guess it depends on what kind of sovereign you are, right? You accumulate personality traits as the game goes by, and the decisions you make on quests and stuff. Depends on if you. I mean, the tyrant is not really trying to save the world so much as destroy it for himself.
Yeah.
In the fiction, I was doing a tyrant playthrough earlier. It was really amusing because I just drained a bunch of shards. I drained like 5 shards, like right away. Just spammed pioneers, got them out there. And so Drain Shard, if you're not aware, is a special that the Tyrant gets where he can blow up a shard, take the Doomsday hit. Sorcerer King still gets more powerful, but he gets 300 mana. And 300 mana is a freaking jillion mana.
Yeah.
Like 300 mana in the early game is like, just cast everything. Cast all the spells, doesn't matter, who cares. And it's awesome. So it's just like Harvest Mountain, Harvest Forest, all over the place. Like Agathon was over in like kind of a little peninsula over to the southwest, and he's one of the lieutenants. He's a big bad fire demon guy. And I was just like, you know what? I want to deal with you. And so I just walled him off with a bunch of mountains. Like I just raised this big old mountain range. Like,
my goodness.
I'm gonna come back to you later. But for now, you stay over there. Because I was like, I wanted to go kill the Paradinians and do some other stuff first.
That's great.
It was great, and it works out really well because with Nefaz, if you gun for Wasteland Scavenger, which gives you bonus loot if you fight on Shadowlands, you can create as many Shadowlands as you want if you have a ton of mana in Harvest Forest and Harvest Mountain. It's like, how about we fight all of our battles on Shadowlands? And so you just get a ton of ingredients.
Yeah.
Not only from the harvesting,
and those
but also
are good ingredients. Those
they are good
that's
ingredients.
the stuff that, man, you get a couple of demon horns and.
Right. And so anyway, it was hilarious. And you get a bunch of, Nefaz gets who's the warlord, the tyrant hero, he gets a bunch of bonuses, various passives for the Doomsday counter going up. The tyrant gets a bunch of bonuses for the Doomsday counter going up. And if you just bank enough mana, you can keep yourself from getting totally screwed because you keep the Doomsday high, but not
I mean, that's
to the lose, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was really fun.
Riding that edge is how I always imagined. Like when we were designing that, I'm like, this is going to be really fun to ride that edge.
Right.
Of like, there's 40 more Doomsday points, and you're just always kind of back and forth and trying to straddle it to get the bonuses, but not so much that you lose.
The game.
So yeah.
Well, and it's tricky too because as the Doomsday goes up, right, the SK does more stuff and he gets more powerful. So it's not just you, but you kind of scale along with him. I don't know. It was very cool. And it's such a different play style. Like that's what I really like that we have finally nailed. Like it's actually long been a criticism of Stardock games in general, that there's not enough faction differentiation, right? And we were really concerned early on about Sorcerer King because we cut very, very early on. These guys were never ever implemented, but there were, the original design was going to be, there's like four kingdoms or whatever, different. You can play as the dwarves or play as the whoever, and those got cut for scope reasons. But honestly, our sovereigns play so differently that Sorcerer King has the best, in my opinion, by far the best faction differentiation that any Stardock game has had.
No, I'm really happy with
it. Plays so differently.
It's not just a different sovereignty. They all have kind of their similar branches. There's always going to be a couple of abilities in there for clairvoyance and a couple of abilities for raising your army size. But other than that, it's like Tinker, all about crafting and enchanting.
Because Tinker doesn't even have clairvoyance, does he?
He gets that one clairvoyance amulet.
Right.
Thing.
So you have to make an item that your units equip that then that lets you cast more spells.
Exactly.
Which is the Tinker is interesting. He's probably my least favorite sovereign to play personally because I don't like the micromanagement of having the extra enchantment slots.
Yeah.
And like you could
Fair
do
enough.
crazy stuff with it.
Yeah.
And I know there are people out there who love the Tinker, and he does get Drogon, the dwarf hero, who is the bossiest boss in Boss Town, as it were. Like you can do some really abusive things with Drogon. But that's okay because like everybody has their own favorite sovereign. Like if you've been playing Sorcerer King, I'd be interested to hear in the chat, what's your favorite Sovereign? You know, earlier in the stream, Allstein said it was the Guardian was his favorite, because I'm guessing it was because of the Outpost. And the Guardian gets some other cool stuff that if you want to play a more defensive game, the Guardian is awesome. She is really good at playing defensive with the bonus outposts. She has stuff where she can put wild grain on the map, which is like a massive food bonus, which is huge. And, you know, Paragon is the ranger hero. He's got some interesting abilities. So
I know everybody tends to like Quickfire.
Yeah, Quickfire is always the one that gets called out as like, yeah, archers aren't necessarily the strongest units, but if you have the ranger, which if you're not aware, Quickfire is an ability that the ranger hero gets, where all your archer units get to take a bonus turn at the beginning of combat, and they just tear up a bunch of dudes. You're seriously upgrading that outpost to that pioneer.
These guys scared me. There's some guys right here.
You're giving me hives. You're literally giving me
another.
hives right now.
I can make another.
You can make another. That's true. That's true. Oh, look at all those juicy darklings just there, just waiting to die, waiting to feed you some XP. Yeah, Well Soul is awesome. I love Well Soul. I love getting bonus hit points on my heroes, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because, especially because once you start fighting those like second and third tier enemies, like there are warlocks who cast arcane missile and shadow bolt, and mages who do terrible things. Like,
oh my gosh,
you need HP to survive that stuff.
Yeah, we actually had to take Blizzard off of the Ice Mage, I think, because he would just start battles. That a-hole, like
Brad
you would just
came into chat one day and he's like, "Who gave this guy Blizzard? I just attacked this army, and 2/3 of my army was dead before I got a turn.
Yeah,
somebody nerf this guy."
Yeah, I always love check-ins that are like, we had to nerf this because Brad kept dying, or Derek was mad that his game got hosed. So.
Which is, yeah. Anyway,
yeah.
I could make some comments about things. Anyway, Island Dog just put the chat question about who's your favorite sovereign, like right before I said that.
Oh, okay.
Nice. I appreciate that Island Dog is on the ball moderating the chat and get people chat. Let's see. Oh, interesting. So Rain and Blood is somebody who I don't remember seeing here at in our Twitch chat. So welcome. And he says, Age of Wonders looks cool, and I love Age of Wonders. I'm like the biggest Age of Wonders booster out there. But I don't like the all warfare part of it. And Sorcerer King is definitely like, the battles are a lot faster than Age of Wonders. Like, Age of Wonders battles are, they're much more involved. It's a great system, and it plays really well, and I love it. But if you don't like doing in-depth tactical battles, it's not necessarily going to be great. So Sorcerer King might be a cooler option for you. So I hope you enjoy it. Got some shout outs on the animations. Been seeing a lot of that lately too. It's great to see people appreciating that. Tons of hard work gone into these animations. Tell you what, those guys Ari and Daniel have really done some awesome stuff. Daniel it's been fun. Daniel sits right behind me, and I turn around to chat
so you
with
get
him
to see what he's working on.
I get to see what he's working on.
Yeah.
What he's working on right now, all I'm gonna say is that it's a squirrel doing like the nefarious like finger steeples, right? That's all I'm gonna say. And it looks really cool. So anyway, I think people will be pretty excited about that. Let's see some shout outs to Master of Magic in the chat. I will always give Master of Magic a shout out.
Oh yeah.
Because I literally have probably played that game for something like 800 hours over the course of my life. Like that is one of the defining games of like literally my life. Like video games have been my hobby and my entire professional career, and Master of Magic is a big reason for that. So shout out to that. All right, let's see. Next giveaway coming up very soon. So keep an eye on the chat. Island Dog's got some more stuff to give away, which is cool. Logical Chills says this game has no multiplayer of any sort. Correct? Question mark. That is correct. There is no multiplayer in this game. Basically, we wanted to get a game out in a reasonable amount of time. And I mean, the Sorcerer King design doesn't really lend itself to multiplayer.
It really doesn't. The fact is, you know, we designed it all around this idea of it's you versus the big villain, and there's no room for multiple amazing, you know, like to use your Superman example, you know, it's not about a bunch of Superman, it's about you. And you are Superman, and you know you're amazing, and so it's really a more intimate design in that sense.
For sure. And man, you start thinking about like what multiplayer would mean to the Sorcerer King design is just attack the SK units. Who cares? Well, he's gonna whine about it. It'll be fine.
You keep talking. I'm driving the game.
Okay, fine.
Man, this shirt gonna take.
But you start thinking about like if it's multiplayer, is it competitive or is it co-op? Like if it's co-op, you run into like, hey, quit grabbing all the chests, quit doing all the quests. Like I was gonna go there. Like you run into that. You run into, you know, how do you deal with a win? Is it a shared win for all the human players if you beat the Sorcerer King because it's got this whole like, you know, different design where the human players are playing a different game than the AI players are. So it just wouldn't work very well. We'd have to change a lot of stuff, and honestly, we'd have to make a lot of compromises that I'm kind of the opinion anyway that Sorcerer King would be probably a significantly worse game if we made it multiplayer, to be honest, for a bunch of reasons anyway. So there's my little rant.
You need you really need the right game, the right design to make multiplayer feel right. And yeah, I don't want to take away from the player that single player like you versus the Sorcerer King feel that I think is really shines.
Yep, for sure. So Gilmoy here's an idea for a multiplayer. Get some friends over, everybody play the same map, same settings, and you race. That's actually, I wish we had the ability, and I'm going to bring this up in the post-mortem after we actually get the game out, because Chris Bray would probably just throw me off a balcony. But I would love the ability to share map seeds.
So that
you can, I mean, you can do like, you can just take a turn one save, right?
I always like seeing those, the round table where it's like okay, every 10 turns.
Right.
Yeah, it's always interesting.
So there's definitely some things you could do there. I mean, we don't officially support, like, there's not like a play-by-email button or anything if you wanted to do a succession game, but it'd be easy enough to just literally email the file, I guess. Yeah. So there's definitely some things you could do there. It'd be cool if we could support more of that, but I mean, that would be a very low priority, I suspect. But map seeds might not be too bad. Map seeds might be easy to extract. I'll ask Charles about it. I won't ask Chris about it. I'll ask Charles. That'll work out great. Chris is going to listen to this at some point and throw me off the balcony, but you know, it happens. Let's see. So what are you up to? Killing ogres?
I am.
Wasting your mana on wisps?
Why do you gotta be like that?
Because you know what also heals your troops without using a bunch of mana?
What? Oh. No,
I'm just saying you're playing a priest.
Sure.
That's all I'm saying.
I'm thinking about jumping in and conversing.
Let's see. Sorry. I'm just trying to catch up on the chat, which is always a little bit of a
It's hard to do when you're being mean to me. I know. It is. It's rough.
Well, you know, I got to keep up my obligations to our viewers here, Scott. You didn't just Into the Light him and miss.
No.
I was going to say.
No, I didn't, actually.
All right. Just making sure.
Okay. 6, I think.
Did you get another shard?
I think I got a couple.
Find out.
Go.
Oh, there you go. Right.
Okay.
Mockery averted.
Swimming in mana.
You are swimming.
Holy
crap! You are totally swimming in mana.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm scared of a Darkling. I'm Scott.
I'm not scared of the Darkling. I'm scared of the Sorcerer King.
What? Come on. What's he gonna do?
I don't. That's true.
He's gonna do terrible things. Is what he's gonna do.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, exactly.
So it's interesting. Like, I feel like we finally started to come down on. See, now he's attacking the shards and doing damage to the shards, all because you were too scared to go kill the Darkling.
I want to see what's over. I think I may start a city. Oh wait, there's no.
There's fertile land over by that shard. All you gotta do is kill some dudes.
I think that they were hard dudes, though.
Well, yeah, but I mean, no pay or no feeding your units into the meat grinder. No gain. I guess I don't know how good your spellcasting is. If you have a decent spell,
I don't have very good direct damage spells.
No,
right
you don't. You don't have like a bear or a shadow warg or anything to summon. It might be a little tough.
No.
Fair enough. Let's see. Drakheim won the giveaway. Congratulations. That's another Sorcerer King Steam key that we have given away. Hope you enjoy the game. Island Dog, if you would let us know if you have any more giveaways. Because I actually don't know. If you have more giveaways that you want to give away, I'll keep streaming. That's fine. So let's see. Yes, the game is out tomorrow, if you're not aware. It's launch week. Everybody's very excited. Everybody's having a good time. I'm having a good time because I get to stream instead of sit and bang
It
my
just
head
feels
against
good to
fog
be
bugs.
done.
Yeah.
And not that we're really done. I think tomorrow I'm going to be working on stuff for the next patch. Like they're already
that's how it
before
goes.
the stream we were talking about high priority items.
That's
But
how it goes.
what's cool about the 1.01 patch is that it's not just bug fixes and tweaks. We actually have some art assets that are going to be going in.
Oh,
so
really?
like you're going to be seeing some new cities. I think actually this one.
Really?
So
I
kind
had
of
no
this
idea.
one. I don't know if you remember, but this one used to look different.
Oh yeah.
And some of the higher tier ones are going to be getting that extra love too,
Nice.
as well as second tier Sorcerer King units will be getting a reskin. So you'll be able to, without rolling over them, see that it's a Darkling Leader or
Oh yeah.
Darkling
yeah.
Shaman
The
versus
Erkson Commanders and
exactly,
stuff like that.
yeah, and they look
Nice
really
stuff.
cool.
All right, so what's in this this Yeti army that you're so terrified of?
I'm afraid of the number. The combat rating is just a little bit high.
28, and what's Kepler at? What's Kepler's
22.
army?
22, and I got nobody.
Oh, whatever. You got 2 archers and a pikeman and a soldier. You actually, or no, that's not even Kepler, is it?
Oh, did Kepler leave?
Well, Kepler died. Remember? Well, not died, but got wounded. Yeah, he
Oh,
is
this is a
stuck back-
whole nother. Oh,
Dude.
jeez. Yeah, come on. Hey,
Of all
Kepler.
the things that you've done on the stream, Scott, I think leaving Kepler
Whatever.
stuck in Africa.
are we done? I feel like we should be done.
You know I love you. Now, here's a question: are you going to build a city there?
Yeah.
Well, apparently. Well, because now you can't build one next to the shard because that's too close.
That's fine. I'll throw an outpost on there.
Fair enough. Fair enough. You're missing out on some Essence, though. And Essence is
Yeah.
super good. Yeah. So as Island Dog says, we are going to be streaming basically every day. Some days it's going to be us streaming. We're going to be hosting some other people streaming. We have some pretty cool, pretty exciting folks lined up to do some streaming, I think. So definitely keep an eye on our Twitch channel here. Going to be, as far as I'm aware, a bunch more giveaways, all kinds of stuff. So tell your friends, come check out Sorcerer King. We are doing it. We're doing it live. I'm so glad we put the return home scroll in, by the way. That was something that I had advocated forever ago.
Oh, yeah.
And it finally went. I mean, it's been in for a little while. It's been in
Yeah.
for a month or two.
Mhm.
But you have to remember I've been playing this game for like 2 years.
Ooh.
Almost 2 years actually. Jeez, that's terrifying.
Seriously.
So
I've been working
I
on
like the
elemental
crowd image.
games since.
Oh God. Since
Do
I
you
was a
wanna
wee
know?
babe.
Do you want to know? Yeah. Let's see. Lily's 4, and she was born after War and Magic went out.
Oof.
So, yeah, I've probably been working on elemental games for about 6.5 years.
Wow. That's intense, brother.
So
anyway, what the hell was I talking about?
but the cool thing is that it sounds like everybody's saying this is the best of the bunch.
I think it's certainly different. Like, I really like it. I really like Sorcerer King. I have played a ton of Sorcerer King, not only because I'm professionally obligated to, but because it is legit fun.
Yeah.
So I hope that other people feel the same way. What I was talking about was the return home scroll is the freaking best. Because here's the problem. In Sorcerer King, good grief. In Sorcerer King, there's always this tension between, because you need to be out adventuring with your hero, right? You need to be out clearing the map, clearing out new territory for cities and outposts, getting new resources, and very, very importantly, getting new loot and XP so that you can get more awesome. Are you going to volcano those dudes?
What the hell? It's the last stream, right? Give me a
Do it.
volcano.
No, I love it.
I never get to volcano stuff because we always start early. And
That's true. That's true. Now, did you cheat yourself a bunch of mana, Scott? Or do you literally
yeah,
have...
I cheated the volcano spell, so
Oh, yeah, I suppose. Okay, fair enough. That's fine. Well,
I'm just gonna volcano the land. How much time do we have?
yeah, as much as we want.
I have a lot of mana, and there's a lot of land that's not volcano.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Explorminate's gonna be hosted on our channel on next Tuesday, I believe. So that's
Very
cool. So
cool.
we're looking forward to that. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah. So return scroll. So like, there's always this need. You have to be out adventuring because unlike other strategy games, like I think I talked about this last week, so forgive me for repeating myself, but your your power level, like how strong you are and what you're trying to do, it's really dependent much more on how strong your armies are, more so than how strong your infrastructure is. Not that your infrastructure isn't important, cities that can build more stuff, but it's oh, hey, I recognize this game. Oh yeah, this was the easiest map ever. Oh my god. Okay, no, this map cracks me up. I'm going to talk about it in a second. But so because your power is so much more mapped to how strong your armies are, you have to be out getting loot and XP. But your cities and stuff are going to be under attack, and often, especially in the early game, you don't have the logistics to support multiple useful armies. So like having the return scroll as getting the ability to bounce your army back home is so huge. Oh no, I'll go back to that map. I want to talk about it.
Yeah, that's why that's why I always get Cloud Walk. Like as soon as it pops up, I don't want to be at the mercy of
finding
craftables.
Yep, because Cloud Walk's only like 15 mana or something, and the scroll costs 5 to craft itself. Plus, you have to have the birch scroll to do it. But yeah, so no, Cloud Walk is amazing, and that's in the general spellbook, so everybody can get it, or the universal spellbook.
Okay.
So where was I going? Right. So the addition of the return home scroll just really it filled in a sort of a tactical issue or a strategic issue that we had. In a really nice way that felt like it fit the game and it fit the world. It had a small cost to it. The real cost is sending your hero back home so he's not going to be able to go on an adventure.
Yeah, you'll be like two tiles away from some sweet quest or from some guy that you can take out.
Exactly. So, all right. So this map is the easiest map ever. I was really amused. And this is...
Where should I pan?
Pan to the south. So kind of go... You might as well just do a Fog of War reveal.
Oh, okay.
If you would. So, all right. So that's where we started, right? That's Athka up there. And then down here... Oh, you turned off the UI too. Oh, that's fine. Whatever. I don't care. But down there are two of the miners.
Sorry.
That's okay. Two of the miners... Saressa and the Flamekeepers.
Oh, is this the one that you were telling me about? Okay.
And so I met them like right away, so I could get started on their quest to try to ally with them. And then if you go up to just north of where the hero is there, you can kind of no, where the hero is.
Oh, okay.
No, back west. This is fun trying to
drive this. Okay. Am I?
So
not this hero?
Okay,
wait,
warmer. No, where the actual so that's Varda. So that's the Varda statue right there, like pretty close.
Oh, nice, yeah.
And then both of these quests, both of the minor quests spawned like right on top of each other, right there.
Yeah.
So like, this is actually an older save. I played this game for a little while after this, and like I was able to go grab Varda, settle a city right up there next to the shard.
Do you have that game to load?
I don't think I do. But I can talk through here.
Okay.
And then run back. I burned a bunch of consumables and lost some troops to kill that Drake. Cleared out both those quests, got that city and that shard, and then was like allied with both those miners like right away. So I had like four heroes and like 4 shards, 4 awesome city sites. And like the SK is down like way down the southeast.
Is this the pinch point you're talking about?
There's two. There's two there because there's one by the Varda statue and there's this one here.
Oh yeah.
So like I could just drop outposts there to weaken his units as they try coming out.
Oh man.
Oh, it was hilarious. I was like, by turn 50, I was like, this is gonna be like I'm gonna win by like turn 110.
Yeah.
Like it was awesome.
But doesn't that feel? I mean, doesn't that feel good to like have those? You have this skill set that you've mastered. And then when you're in the right situation, you can use all those things to, and like you can look at the map, this randomly generated map, and identify those spots as, exploitable. And I don't know.
Yeah, it's.
I'm just really happy with how the game turns out. Every time I hear people talking about different playthroughs, like even playthroughs where they lose, where they're like, I was so close, I had my stack, I thought I could do it. But, Doomsday, something happened and it triggered Doomsday and I just couldn't do it. And there's, in the fact that, to them that's an enjoyable experience. And I guess a lot of the playthroughs, early playthroughs for people tend to be losses in the game. And the fact that it's enjoyable enough, even the losses are enjoyable, is something that I don't know how, like a lot of games can't claim that.
Yeah.
So
No, it's really hard. Right. And we've seen people describe the game as a roguelike, right? Because specifically because of that. I still really want to push. I'm still going to keep pushing for getting an Iron Man mode in, right? Where you can't reload a save, so that you really have to own your decisions. I love that in a lot of games. Yeah. Most recently, XCOM has an Iron Man mode, and it's a great fit for that game. I think it'd be a really good fit for Sorcerer King too. Got a bunch of people chatting about Master of Magic in the chat. I will always and forever give shout outs to Master of Magic. And it actually holds up okay nowadays. You can get it on GOG.com. They have a pretty good version. It comes like with DOSBox all pre-configured and everything. You use a volcano. You're mad.
I was
with
gonna
power,
see.
Scott. You are mad with power.
I wanted to see how long it was gonna take.
This is what a sad little administrator on fire.
That's one of those. I think that's a priority 4 bug. He'll die. He'll die. Basically, if you put it on a city that has units in it, those units they'll die, but the graphics are still there. So, he's checking his pocket. So, anyway,
I'm really amused. Sorry, that was great.
Did you ever get to fight these guys? The ogre.
Oh yeah, I fought that army a bunch of times.
Yeah.
I love that we made Gigantify area of effect for him.
Yeah.
So it's like the growth thing, but it's area of effect. So it's like all of a sudden it's like, oh god, I actually have to pay attention to these stupid bandits and kill them.
No, that's the what if there's one thing going back to, what we wish we could have gotten in, I would have loved to have done another pass on the encounters and basically tried to have more situations like that where there's a little bit more thematic flavor in an encounter where, like, this ogre, instead of casting, the arcane arrow spells that a lot of other guys have, like, how can we make what does an ogre mage entail? Like, what's his thing? And make things huge, make you small. Like, there's something really cool about that encounter where suddenly, I'm gonna get squashed. How can I deal with this?
If he lands the Gigantify on the shrill too, on the little like bug dude, it's rough because that guy has a pretty high natural attack if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So it can be bad times. Yeah. We're gonna be doing a giveaway, so check out the chat if you would. Let's see. What else do we got going on? Well, giveaway I suppose is going on.
I'm gonna load up another game. What's another good game that you got going?
Oh God. Well, a lot of them are kind of cheaty things because I was testing various things.
Did you see what I've been doing with the volcanoes? We're good. It's good. Here's my tutorial game. So I came up here with Kristen to record some tutorials to put up on YouTube.
Yeah. And
so I'm going through the basics and just talking about the game, and like an hour and a half goes by, and the whole time I'm thinking, this is Sorcerer King. We've stripped things, not stripped things down, but we've simplified things. So a beginner tutorial, that should be like 30 minutes. Or 25 minutes. And it's just amazing how much depth there still is and how many interactions and how much there is to do in this game despite being a lot more accessible. And I don't want, that's one thing I don't want Fallen Enchantress and LH players and like 4X players. Don't be afraid of the idea of, streamlining and, making it accessible. We're not making it accessible to make it easy or dumb or this isn't a mobile game by any stretch of the imagination. Yeah. What we're trying to do is make sure that those core systems, they work right, they work cleanly, and they work interconnectedly. Is that a word? They work?
Sure.
Okay. They work in interconnected fashion. So there's lots of give and take, lots of choices that may seem simple, kind of going back to those abilities. They're choices that seem simple on the surface, but there's actually a lot of depth to to them. So
Yeah, I've found that it's like you kind of lose, not necessarily lose sight, but you don't think about when you're working on a game like this and you're kind of in the game every day and you're playing it and you're working on design and doing all this stuff. You don't necessarily think about how much there is to it because it's all like you have that framework in your head the whole time, right? And you're very used to holding the game in your head and wrapping your brain around it. But yeah, I was doing a similar kind of like just a very casual kind of let's play, just a, hey, here's a game, just kind of explaining it, not really geared to be necessarily a tutorial, but as just an explanatory thing for people who are curious about the game. And like, I was originally like, it'll do like 20 minutes, it'll be great. No, I had to like cut myself off at 45.
Yeah.
Because it was just like, oh yeah, because I kept doing things.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so this is how quests work. And, oh, hey, yeah, you can do terraform, you can do like Harvest Mountain, and you can do like, oh my goodness, it was out of control. All right, A0152570, who is another one of our very long-standing community members.
Did he win?
He won.
Awesome.
Congratulations,
Very
man.
cool.
Appreciate your support as always. Hope you enjoy yourself a little Sorcerer King on the house, as it were. Oh God. Yeah, see, the funny thing is a lot of people love auto-resolve. Brad loves auto-resolve. We've gotten a lot of feedback that a lot of people, they really appreciate auto-resolve because they don't want to play through all the battles.
I like auto.
I basically never do auto-resolve.
How can you never do auto-resolve?
Well, because I turn the animation speed up and I fight the battles properly and they don't take 16 years. And I get enjoyment out of like solving those little tactical puzzles, right? And like coming out of it with no damage. And now since we added the like overwhelming victory, I do auto resolve some overwhelming victories from time to time.
But making sure that there's definitely something to be said to getting out of those without you don't want a wolf or one of your starting soldiers to get down to like 2 HP.
Right.
And then not realize it.
Right.
Yeah. No, what's actually a lot of fun is what I'm finding in my current game is as you get used to encounter setups, like you go to an encounter and it will be kind of rough and you're like, oh, if I would have done that a little bit differently, it could have gone better. And then you get to, if you find the same encounter, then it gives you that opportunity to go, I should have really, I was in a situation where I used the pikeman wrong. Like I should have impaled. I should have ran up and impaled 2 guys, but instead I ended up doing something else stupid. Like I normally do. Just say it. Just say it, Adam.
Hey, I was busy congratulating our winners, okay?
But yeah, it's fun to have those opportunities to learn and grow and reevaluate and I don't know. I'm thrilled. I'm so thrilled, Adam. You don't even know.
I don't even know. I'm thrilled to get another game out the door. We've been like, oh my, that's a problem. Well, maybe don't go.
I'm not gonna go that way.
Hang out with him because he's gonna be a problem.
Yeah. See you later.
So yeah, the I don't know where I was going with that. I apologize. The lieutenants are interesting. I feel like we can do things with the lieutenants.
Yeah, that would probably be my other thing. My other big wish would have been, more main map stuff for the lieutenants to do. Like I just snuck away from them. It would be cool if you're too close to them and they roll a random thing, they actually do some damage to you.
Cast like Agathon has like some version of like Pillar of Flame.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like, oh crap, he burnt me. You lose some health. Nothing too intense, but enough to like zap you and try to keep you away.
Make him more dangerous and make him more scary. That would be cool.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna kill me. But that would make a good DLC, would be bundle it with a patch. So like new features come to all the lieutenants, but then the DLC has additional lieutenants. That would be a good one. I would buy that DLC.
That would be cool DLC. Yeah, I'm sure we'll be having a DLC meeting in the next couple of days.
I'm sure. I know, like I said, I know Brad already has a list.
Yeah.
Brad has had a list of. Yeah,
he has. Yeah. When
Brad has plans.
2 years ago he had a list, so I'll be curious to see how the official list manifests itself once reviews come in. That's the big thing for me is what are reviewers saying? What are the big issues?
And what is the community saying, right? Like once we get once we get it in front of a wider community and we start seeing, okay,
Yeah.
what are all the issues that people are seeing? Like one of the things that comes up a lot is, oh, I wish archers couldn't just fire at
Where
everyone all the
range?
time.
Give me
If they would-
range. Give me.
Not even
Yeah.
necessarily that. I think the one that I've seen suggested a lot and that I think could work okay would be to, if they're engaged in melee, they can only target things in melee.
Oh, okay.
Right. So that so that you could kind of lock down archers by getting in their grill.
Okay.
Because sometimes it does feel a little unfair that it's like, man, they are just pounding on my heroes or my support units or whatever, and I just can't do anything about it. Like that does feel kind of.
Do you ever
unfortunate
get
sometimes.
Guardian Wind?
I do.
Do you ever cast Guardian Wind? Because I feel
Not always.
we do have a spell for that.
We do. No, we totally do. But it's kind of expensive to research. Well, it's not terribly expensive to research.
No,
It's
I know.
Kind of expensive to
it would
cast,
be-
and it's.
It'd be nice to have something a little more ingrained in the system for it.
And so like that comes up a lot. So that'll be one of the items that that some people will be advocating for. Like I will be advocating for it. We'll see. Those meetings are always their meetings, and it's always give and take of what does the community want? What does the lead designer, in this case Brad, want? Like what does the team feel like is reasonable, right? Like there's always we can't have everything. Occasionally we can have nice things. Occasionally. Blood Omen is asking for a necromancer, which has been a relatively common request.
Oh, we have a guest.
Speaking
you say my
of,
name 5 or 3 times I show up.
were you watching?
What's that?
Were you watching or
I
no?
was
I don't think they
Oh.
allow people to watch during the stream.
Oh,
It's
that's
like,
true.
Stop
Well,
using
yeah, because
the
we
internet.
used to have the issues with the lag and the frame drop.
So are you happy with the game, Brad?
Oh, I'm very happy.
You gotta get more on the mic
Here.
if you want people
Here,
to hear
let's
you.
get-
Brad.
Oh,
Let's
I'm
snuggle.
really happy. No,
I'm gonna
I
move.
wish- I do wish we had used the more humorous trailer. Yeah, I heard the voiceover. Have you got the?
it was great. It was just I know that I was.
I'm sorry, guys. I know you can't hear them at all.
Yeah. Well, maybe there's some way we can still use it because it gets home the spirit of the game. The game's a little tongue in cheek.
The game is very tongue in cheek. Yeah, I mean, we could probably put that out somewhere once if we can pry it out of marketing's clutches.
Yeah.
But yeah. So anyway, people, the chat is very positive. Brad, everybody's pretty excited about Sorcerer King. So
Awesome. I know I'm a little biased, but I think it might be the funnest game we've ever made ever.
you think it's the funnest game we've ever made?
I think so.
Interesting.
In terms of when you get done with the beginning, middle, and end of a game, it's like this was really fun.
Absolutely. No, I agree. I like Sorcerer King a lot. I mean, I've been defending. You're gonna come snuggle with me? I love it.
All right, well I have to go back downstairs. So I was actually in the middle of a meeting.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
Sorry,
So
we get
bye, everyone.
we get a little loud in here.
You guys get Brad tomorrow.
Yes, no, Brad will be here on the stream tomorrow. Hopefully, actually, like on the microphone so that people can hear him. But yeah, no, his office is actually on the other side of this wall, so he was probably hearing us hollering.
He wanted in on the fun. It is so exciting. Like this little period of when games go out is, I don't know, the us creators live for it.
Yeah, no, it's super fun and just getting stuff into people's hands. All right, we had our final giveaway. Looks like Hibbs99 got the win, so congratulations. Hope you enjoy yourself some Sorcerer King. Yeah, Explorminate wants more sovereigns, but more factions instead, or both. All things that are on the table. I have no idea. I'm sure Brad probably has a plan that's already like locked down that we just don't know what it is yet.
And his foresight tends to be pretty astute. Like he'll have a list of stuff that he thinks that we should do, and then it turns out the reviewers are like, "Hey, you guys should do this, this, and this." It's like, oh yeah, Brad knew that last year.
Yeah, no, he's pretty good at that. So, all right. Well, I think that is our stream for the day. A little bonus extra length. Normally we go for about 45 minutes to an hour. We did an hour and a half today, but
wow.
I am going to melt into a puddle in this freaking sauna of a studio. Tell you what, because I've been in here all day, and I'm going to be in here for another couple hours too.
Saying it's too hot.
I'm saying it's
Bam.
too hot.
That was the cue. That was dumb.
Oh, Scott, I didn't even. Wow, jeez.
Why did I end it?
I hate you all so
It's
much.
so dumb.
All right. Well, thanks. Follow us on our various socials. Of course, Island Dog's been linking everything in the chat. Come back tomorrow. You get to chat with Brad, who is the lead designer on the project and the CEO and founder of Stardock. He's always got a lot of things to say. I believe we're on with Brad at 5 tomorrow.
Oh, cool.
5 Eastern. So I'll let Island Dog confirm that, though. He would know better than
Yeah,
I
find
just
out
go
because dinner's at 6.
with,
So
oh,
it better not overlap with dinner.
that would be a problem. I will. I will go.
It may
make
have
sure
to
that
move.
that-
We
Okay.
could-
Oh,
we
yeah,
could
he's
al- I
saying-
guess-
he's saying it's at 3.
I guess we could always move dinner.
Island Dog is saying it's at 3, so we should be good to go. Oh yeah, and almost done makes a good point. If you follow us on Twitch here, you'll get a notification. Like if you put the app on your phone, you'll get a notification every time the Stardock stream goes
Oh,
live. And we have a bunch of stuff. You know, we stream all of our games. We stream Gal Civ 3, we stream Servo and Off-World Trading Company and Sorcerer King, and we'll actually have a couple other games to be announcing soon.
Oh, yeah.
We have Ashes has been announced. We haven't started the stream yet. That'll start when it hits early access. But I'm pretty excited about that. If you haven't checked out Ashes, you definitely should. Ashesofthesingularity.com. We're very excited about that. Oh, that's right. We have a special guest at 5. I forgot about that. Okay, so yeah. So anyway, that's the deal. Thanks for coming, everybody. Appreciate your support and just spending the time to hang out with us on an afternoon here. Hope you enjoy the game, our lucky winners, and hope everybody else goes out and gives us their money so that Brad can pay us. And very, very thankful to have such an awesome chat. You guys are great.
Thanks again for everything, because
For sure.
I seriously don't think the game would be as good as it is without everybody playing,
Totally agree.
giving that feedback, making sure that, keeping us on our keeping us with the eye on the prize.
Totally.
So thanks for your
it's been
feedback. Thanks for playing.
All right.
been
All right,
fun.
everybody. Well, I will see you tomorrow. Scott will not. He's going to be locked in the dungeon.
I got stuff to do.
He does
so
have stuff to do.
I'll go do the stuff.
I just go where they tell me to.
Yeah. I actually may not be on again until some other
Oh, yeah,
projects.
that's
So
true. That's true.
bye, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter.
That's right.
I am on Twitter.
What is your Twitter handle?
I don't know. Scott. Whatever. It's my name. It's Scott Tykoski.
Okay.
So I think that my name's under here, but
All
I
right.
I tend to talk about. I get to plug myself now.
No, it's please do.
I tend to talk about a lot of indie stuff because
Yes, you
I
love indie
love
development.
the indie scene, and pixel art and all kinds of stuff like that. So a lot of design stuff. So if you like any of those things,
You should totally follow Scott on
come
Twitter.
follow me.
I follow
'cause
him on Twitter.
I follow
And
you.
I am a very discriminating Twitter
Yes,
follower.
and you don't like pixel art at
I,
all.
No, it's not that I don't like pixel art. I just don't have like
It's
a
a
huge,
little overused.
It can be a little overused.
It can be a crutch. Anyways,
Anyway, we should
this has
probably-
been.
I'm so bad at actually cutting the stream.
I know.